What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be discussing 10 fights between fighters in other divisions, or fighters that need to either move up or move down to make a fight with another fighter in a different weight class, interdivisional fights if you will. I'll be talking about 10 matchups which I think would be bangers, maybe not all of them like pure barn burners, but just 10 fights that I want to see between fighters in other divisions, because oftentimes, people being kind of refined to their weight class and the UFC not wanting to book guys in other weight classes does prevent us from being able to see some sick matchups. So I'm going to be hypothesizing here what would go down if we kind of just threw the weight classes out the window and said, yeah, let's just let these guys fight whoever they want whenever, and who cares about rankings and weight classes and shit. These let them fight. So yeah, we got 10 matchups starting off with the flyweight division. Up here, I want to see Henry Cejudo and Brandon Moreno fight. Now, Brandon Moreno did just get a win. I would have been probably more strong on this position if Moreno had lost, because then I would have honestly just said there's really nothing for him at flyweight, but he did win, so he probably can stick at flyweight for now, and I don't think Henry Cejudo is going to make the cut to flyweight. If so, that's fine, but I just assume this fight will take place at bantamweight if it ever happens. We know these two have beef, we know they've had history since when Moreno fought on Tough, and they don't like each other very much. I think Cejudo has had issues and shit, because I know Cejudo hates the fact that he's got Mexican heritage. He's like, no, I'm not Mexican, I'm American, which is interesting. But Brandon Moreno, great fighter obviously, but coming off a win, so I don't know if it's as likely to happen. But if he loses another fight at flyweight, I think he could go up, fight at bantamweight, fight Henry Cejudo. There's a few other guys I wouldn't mind seeing him fight. I wouldn't mind even seeing a fifth fight with him and Figueiredo, even though that probably would seem kind of drag. But him and Cejudo, I think that's a fight that needs to get made at some point before these two career is done. And I think Cejudo is going to be done with the sport before Moreno is. So make it sooner rather than later, sometime next year maybe, if Moreno gets a loss. Or even if he wins or fights Pantoja and then loses, or if the UFC's like, yeah, we're not booking you against Pantoja again, just send him up to bantamweight and give him a fun fight against Cejudo. I think that'd be a good idea. Anyway, let's move on to another matchup. Now we are talking bantamweight to featherweight. I want to see Song Yadong fight Kelvin Kattar. Now there's a few guys that I think Song Yadong would match up well with to have a great fight. I think Kelvin Kattar is one of them. Both of these dude, heavy boxing style, I'd say. Song uses a few more kicks in his game, probably pushes the wrestling a little bit more. But Kelvin Kattar at this stage in his career, he's really not looking for anything. What's Kattar going to do? He's going to fight fucking Gene Silva, or he's going to fight one of these up-and-coming guys like a Lerone Murphy or something. What's Kelvin Kattar going to do? Fight a fucking Yusuf Zalal? I think Kattar could just have some fun fights. By no means do I think Kattar's making a cut to bantamweight, but I think if Song Yadong was like, fuck it, I'll just take a fight up a weight class, because I don't know what Song Yadong's doing either. I was like, originally I thought he was going to fight like Cejudo, or maybe he's going to fight on the China card, but obviously he's not fighting on there. So I don't know what the fuck Song Yadong's doing, but I want to see him fight, and I think a Kattar matchup would be sick. I'd say if this was a prime Kattar, I'd be worried that Song could get cracked, but I think at this stage, Kattar probably past his best a little bit. I think Song Yadong could have a good matchup with him, land some shots and just have a good scrap. You can't tell me the boxing exchanges between these two wouldn't be sick. I would have said Kelvin Kattar vs Rob Font, because they're both kind of washed 40-year-olds who are just gatekeeper status, but they train together, so they're not going to fight each other. So yeah, Song Yadong, I wouldn't mind him versus an Arnold Allen but I think that's probably a step too far if he's going to make a fight up a weight class, because Song is a big bantamweight. I think he's got the heaviest recorded pre-fight weigh-in for a bantamweight, in terms of, how they weigh you in obviously officially, and then they check your weight on the day of the fight. I think Song Yadong once weighed in at 170 on the day of the fight. So this dude would not be undersized at featherweight with some bulking time, I don't think. And I think if he fought Kattar, I think that'd be a sick matchup. So I reckon make it happen. Anyway, let's move on though to another matchup. I say let's see Josh Emmett go up to lightweight and fight Michael Chandler if he loses this weekend next weekend to Charles Oliveira. Now, Josh Emmett, similar to Kelvin Kattar, similar to a few guys on this list, I have no clue what the fuck this guy's doing. I think Kattar's injured, but I don't know what the fuck Josh Emmett's doing. Apparently, he might be fighting Gene Silva. That would be sick. If he fights Gene Silva and loses, then, you got no point sticking around at featherweight. I think Josh Emmett did even say he does actually want to finish his career at lightweight. Someone correct me if I'm wrong or confirm my suspicions, but I remember hearing him say he wants to finish his career at lightweight with a few fights there. Now, there's a few matchups for him. I think a Rafael Fiziev fight would be sick. I think a BSD fight would be sick. I just want to see Josh Emmett versus some guy who's going to throw hammers at him and one of them's going to die because they're just going to chuck big meaty hooks and someone's going to get chinned. I do think Josh Emmett would lose most fights at lightweight. I just think he's a bit undersized. I know he's got power, but I don't think he's going to get, like, if we're looking at the guys he's chinning, it's Lamas, Bryce Mitchell, Michael Johnson. Like, he's not laying out, like, good fighters. Like, he's not laying out fucking Yair Rodriguez or Dan Ige or even, like, the other guys that he's fighting. Like, he's not just absolutely smoking these guys. He smokes guys who have no defense. Now, Michael Chandler has no defense, to be fair, so I could see Chandler just see you at the top, maxing his way to a KO loss. But I don't think Chandler's really the guy to get dropped by, like, big meaty hooks. I think he's the guy to get dropped by, like, more precise shots, like what Oliveira landed. I mean, to be fair, Poirier did drop him, but, like, if Emmett landed, by all means, could see him getting KOing Chandler. I think this fight would be a fucking fireworks. Would just be sick. These two are just going to swing him, hammer and tongs, and fucking one of them's going to fall over. So yeah, Josh Emmett, I think someone suggested a Gaethje fight. I've seen some, I commented saying I made a community post saying, like, what are some fights you guys would want to see in between divisions, and I think someone mentioned, I think, Gaethje and Josh Emmett, which would be sick, but I just don't think it's as realistic. I think if Emmett's going to go up and fight someone, I don't think he's going to get much bigger of a name than Chandler. He would probably end up getting, like, a Fiziev matchup, which would be sick as well. But yeah, Chandler fight, these two are both just big meaty hooks, maxes. This would be a certified Lucas Tracy fight here. So yeah, these two need to fight before the end of their careers. Both also pretty old as well. I think Josh Emmett's like 39. Chandler, I think he's 37. So yeah, but make this happen before both of these guys become unks and retire. Anyway, let's move on though to another matchup. Next matchup I want to see, Yair Rodriguez versus Rafael Fiziev. Tell me this shit is not a banger. And tell me these two aren't, like, very similar in their careers. Both coming off multiple losses. Fiziev coming off the loss to Gaethje and then the loss to Mateusz Gamrot, obviously by injury. And then Yair Rodriguez coming off the loss to Volk and then the loss to Ortega. Both of these two kind of just firmly a few wins away from top 5 or title talks, realistically. So I think we can just put their journey to the title on hold just for one fight and make this shit happen. Yair Rodriguez, Rafael Fiziev, two of the best kickers in the sport. You got the Muay Thai style, the heavy low kicks and heavy body kicks of Fiziev. I mean, he throws some head kicks too, obviously, versus Yair Rodriguez, the flashy, quick, snappy Taekwondo style of kicks. Like, this fight would be nuts. Both of these two ain't going to go for takedowns. I know Yair has this is the reason why I didn't do, like, a Yair versus, like, a fucking Benil Dariush or some shit, or one of these, or like a Gamrot, because one of these guys will just shoot takedowns. Fiziev ain't taking him down. Yair ain't taking Fiziev down. These two are just going to stand and basically have a fucking Muay Thai. I know this is going to be a fight for the just stand up people. The ones that fucking complain anytime they, like, touch each other on the ground. Pause. But, like, anytime they, like, make contact with the canvas, they're like, nah, stand them up, ref, come on, bro, what are we doing? Like, this is a fight for those guys who just go, like, come on, bro, why are you stand and bang, bro, stand and bang? Like, this is the stand and bang type of fight. Not even stand and bang, I think that's more of an Emmett Chandler, but, like, this is just the pure striking, skill, technical fight, technical cross with a war as well. This fight would be sick. Both guys pretty solid chins. Both guys not crazy one punch like hand power, but the kicking on display would be nuts. So yeah, someone tell me in the comments if you object to this fight. No one needs to see Yair Rodriguez versus, like, I know he's probably going to fight like Arnold Allen in Mexico City. That's probably what I'm hearing. I mean, not probably, like, that's what I'm hearing a bit as an option. But, like, sure, that'd be a cool fight. We'd like to see it. But realistically, if you had the choice between Arnold Allen and Yair Rodriguez at altitude, where Yair might just gas again, versus fucking Fiziev and Yair at sea level, just on a pay-per-view main card, fuck a Mexico fight night. We want this shit on a pay-per-view main card opener. This shit would be a banger. Tell me you don't want to see this. This would be sick. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another matchup. The next fight to talk about, it's on the thumbnail already. You guys know we've been pushing for this. Or not pushing for it to happen next, but just in general, this is a fight that needs to happen for legacy, for the GOAT conversation. And Lucas Tracy, his mental health is relying on this fight to take place. Ilya Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. This fight needs to happen at some point. Not saying this will be like the most pure, all-out brawl action fight, fucking someone's getting slept, but this is just, in my opinion, number 1 versus number 2. Alex Pereira's great, I love him, he's been saving the UFC this year. I don't think pound for pound, if you're looking at all-round competitive, like good everywhere, I don't think he's in the top 2. I think Ilya and Islam is number 1 and 2. I don't care which order you put him in, there's really no objection for me. It's not a debate that I'll try and have, but you got to see this happen. We need to see Topuria fucking Ilya, stand your base, mate. I'm in my bay, bro. Versus Islam Makhachev. This fight would be nuts. Now, maybe Islam wins, maybe he out-wrestles him, maybe Ilya fucking KOs Islam and he's the first person to knock him out since Pantoja. You know, that fight happened. Real ones, no. Someone in the comments is like, why is everyone talking about Pantoja like he fought Islam? I'm like, bro, you're not a real fan. You don't get the joke. But you can't tell me that you don't want to see Ilya Islam, and you can't tell me this shit wouldn't be crazy. Either the only real like bad-ish kind of outcome would be just like a boring decision for either guy, more likely Islam, I'd say, if he just out-wrestles him. But like if we see an Ilya KO, if we see an Islam submission, either of those outcomes would be nuts, because at the time, if this fight were going to happen, it would mean Ilya would be undefeated. And Islam wouldn't have lost in like fucking 12 years or some shit. And he'd be coming off another title offense over Armansukin, which is a fight I want to see first, obviously. But at some point, Abu Dhabi maybe, just make this fight happen. It'd be nuts. I don't even want it in Abu Dhabi though. Like, I want real fucking UFC fans. The sheiks don't care about the sport. They only care about the money. They're not real fans of the sport. They're not fucking up at 4 a.m. like the UK chads who are fucking watching Viviana Rougeau versus Karine Silva next weekend on a pay-per-view at 4 a.m. Like, the sheiks don't care. They're there for the money. Put this in America. Put this in front of real fucking fight fans and make it happen. Dana White, do it. I know you watch my videos, bro. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another fight. Kamaru Usman. I can't even spell your name right. We need to see Kamaru Usman versus Hobbit Whittaker at some point, any time before their careers are done and before they're completely washed. This needs to happen. This is a pound-for-pound fucking matchup. Or not, maybe not right now, obviously, but like this is a two of the best guys of the last fucking decade, to be honest. I know Whittaker probably like best. I know he held the title, but like best non-kind of championship reigning middleweight. Just he's been number 2 for fucking ages. I guess now he's probably not number 2. But Usman, second greatest welterweight of all. We got probably the second greatest welterweight of all time versus like in my books the third or fourth greatest middleweight of all time. You can't tell me you don't want to see this. And just stylistically, this matchup is just intriguing as fuck. Because Usman is probably not going to be able to take down Whittaker. Like, I would be surprised if we saw Usman just dunk Whittaker down. But maybe Whittaker's grappling's a bit shook up after that Khamzat fight. Maybe he's not as confident. But I do think this fight would be mostly contended on the feet. And you can't tell me you don't want to see this. This fight would be sick. If it's not going to happen in Australia, obviously, because we're going to probably see Usman at 310, and Whittaker's probably going to be taking some time off. But if Usman loses to Shavkat, and Whittaker is looking to come back like mid next year, International Fight Week. Hello, International Fight Week. I know the timelines probably wouldn't match up, but like International Fight Week, Islam Makhachev versus Ilya Topuria and Kamaru Usman versus Robert Whittaker co-main event. Like, that fight, that card would be nuts. That'd be a certified Conor McGregor card as well. He'd be like, the Mystic Mac prediction is Ilya Topuria via third round TKO and Kamaru Usman by decision. The Conor would have a field day with this. So yeah, make this fucking fight happen at some point. Not next, maybe, but just like within the next year. There's no excuse for this to not happen. Because otherwise, what the fuck is Whittaker going to do? I'm sorry, Rob, I love you, but I don't think you're building your way up to another fucking title fight. You're going to what? You're going to fight fucking Amavov or Baralio. And then you might lose to Baralio because he's got fucking plot armor. Or what are you going to do? Fight Fluffy Hernandez and get third round ground and pound TKO'd? Like, it's just, I don't know. I think Whittaker should just take legacy fights, take Usman fights, maybe go up to light heavy, except he might be a bit outsized there. But yeah, Whittaker, I don't think there's a point to him just fighting again up and comers. Oh, yeah, I'll fight Baralho, and then I'll fight Anthony Hernandez, and yeah, give me a Joe Pyfer matchup, and I'll get chinned. Like, come on, Rob, I don't want to see that. Let's get you some good matchups with well-known, established names and legends of the sport. That's what I want to see. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, we got Khamzat Chimaev versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Come on, this is happening at some point. Ever. While these two are undefeated, this fight will happen. Shavkat is 18-0 right now. He's going to fight Usman probably at 310. 19-0 I assume if he wins, obviously. And then he's going to fight Belal. Yeah, man, Belal. And he's going to be 20-0. In the meantime, Khamzat is probably going to fight DDP, go to 15-0. And then maybe fight one more time before then, go 16-0. And then maybe we get a Shavkat title defense, goes to 21-0. We need undefeated matchups in title fights in the UFC. Bring back, I don't even know bring back. It rarely fucking happens. But like you see it in boxing. We got Bertobiev, Bivol and shit. You get undefeated fights, right? But I think it was Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, was that both undefeated at the time? I think it was. Maybe I'm wrong. But we need to have like how hype would that be? One, Shavkat versus Khamzat is just hype as fuck. You know, the casual fan's going to be having a fucking wet dream over this because they act like they know the sport because they've heard of Khamzat Chimaev. Smash brother, like, you're not a fan of the sport. Anyway, we need a gatekeep MMA, I'm not going to lie. But Shavkat Rakhmonov as well, they're starting to know him too. You know, they're starting to be like, I don't know, man, I think Shavkat's the real deal. I think he's better than Khamzat. He's the real OV name guy. Like, just casual fans, that's what they're saying. But still, Shavkat Khamzat at some point. This matchup was getting talked about like a lot, like a year ago, when after fucking can't speak. Shavkat beat Jeff Neal. When Shavkat beat Jeff Neal, people started being like, I don't know, man, Shavkat Khamzat, that's a pretty competitive fight. People picking Shavkat to win that, and he could. But tell me you don't want to see Shavkat Khamzat for the middleweight title in 2020, probably not 24, probably 2025, let's be honest. I know I want to see this in America, but let's be honest, this is an Abu Dhabi type of fight. The Sheiks will fork out 20 million for this, probably 30 mil. Fucking Turkey, whatever his name, Oil Prince, Dana White's dad, is going to fucking fork out a bunch for this. Put on a big production, make a big deal out of it. We're going to get some crazy promos. We're never going to get actual good fucking promos. When's the last good promo we had? Fucking Khabib Conor? Like, we've had the fucking 205 MSG promo. Like, that was good. When are we getting... Can we get some good promos, please? Bivol Bertobiev made a fucking short film, bro. So yeah, you already know Shavkat Khamzat is going to get a fucking nuts promo. But still, the fight itself would be sick. The hype would be nuts. Two undefeated guys at the time. I think this could have the potential, apart from like an Ilya Islam matchup, to be the biggest like non-Conor McGregor fight in the sport. And honestly, even at this stage, I think a prime Khamzat versus Shavkat matchup is bigger than any Conor fight in the sport right now, except for probably like a Makhachev or like a title fight at welterweight. But yeah, no one doesn't want to see this fight at some point. Obviously, it has to happen at the right time. Both guys need to actually have earned it. Shavkat can't just like win the belt and then immediately move up, because we might even see Shavkat Islam before that, which I might talk about in another video, because I'm probably going to do a part 2 to this so I can get more content. But yeah, Shavkat versus Khamzat needs to happen at some point. Let's move on though to another fight. This fight I'm only really talking about because there have been some rumors circulating, or some kind of, not rumors, but like dialogue of a potential of this fight happening. MVP actually did call out Shara. You know, he said, don't disrespect my boy Izzy. Like, you don't know you, little bro. I ain't gonna let you hit. But, no, Shara versus MVP, look, it's not quite as high profile of a matchup as the other ones on the list, but it would still be a sick fight. MVP, great striker, one of the best in the sport. Obviously lost his last fight to Ian Cuck Gary via getting taken down. Never seen Ian Gary dominate someone before. I thought it's usually him, the one getting dominated. But either way, Shara versus MVP, though, would be a sick fight. Pure stand-up matchup as well. I think MVP would probably tune him up, to be honest, because I think welterweights is, one, better than middleweights. We know this. It's the reason why Whittaker was a fucking bum and then he went up to went up to middleweight and became good. Obviously, I know there's other factors there, but like there's so many mid-ass fucking welterweights that go up to middleweight and become good. Like Gastelum was a bum, went up. Like, it wasn't really a bum, he fought Woodley and shit, but like Gastelum went up and fucking almost beat Izzy. Like, there's guys at middleweight who are just fucking mid as hell. Like Strickland went up as well. Yeah, I'm telling you, welterweights are just so much better than middleweights, which is why I may or may not pick Shafkat, but also Khamzat was a former welterweight. But anyway, let's talk about this fight. MVP versus Shara. I think Shara is kind of mid, and I still think he's primed for a fraud check. I think that KO sort of is going to deter people. I think that's a good thing for like future Shara anti-betters. Because, like, I think a lot of people going into that were kind of thinking, hang on a sec, this guy's undefeated, he came in super hyped, we're supposed to think this guy's like the next fucking champion, and he's just looked mid. But then he gets a KO and everyone just forgets that he was still kind of looking mid in that fight. So this is good because he's probably going to fight like another guy. And then, like, if he fights like a fucking Jack Hermansson, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm picking Jack Hermansson to win. Like, if he fights anyone that good, I'd probably pick him against Vittoria in a 3-rounder. Even like Cannonier might pick him to beat. But like, if he fights anyone really good with grappling or with solid striking, with defense, I'm picking him to win. So I think MVP would win this fight comfortably, but still, I'm down to see it. Like, put this on the Saudi card. I know MVP's not a ranked middleweight. Shara is ranked at middleweight, so it'd be cool. But if he beats MVP, that's a great name on the resume. And if not, fucking, I guess, I don't know, it's not great. But it probably won't happen, but I still think it's a fight that's worth kind of discussing as a potential possibility. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another fight. Next up, middleweight to light heavyweight. I want to see Paulo Costa versus Khalil Roundtree. Why you wanna have wave? But Paulo Costa, I think he'd get smoked in this fight. Now, I was trying to be nice. I was like, who can I give him? I was thinking a Johnny Walker fight. I got someone else for Johnny Walker. I'll talk about that as well. But what's his name? Fucking Khalil Roundtree. I think he'd smoke him, to be honest. I was thinking maybe like a Volkan Ozdemir fight, or maybe the winner of like Reyes Smith, but that just doesn't come across as like a pure banger. Like, that's not something you just put on a poster and everyone's like, oh my god, this is going to be sick. Paulo Costa, people still kind of are like, oh yeah, he's the guy that goes to war and has scraps and shit. And I don't know, maybe light heavyweight, we see him kind of rejuvenated a bit. Maybe middleweight cuts affecting him. Roundtree, I think he's very good, and I think he's better than Costa, but maybe after that Pereira fight, he just took so much damage. Either way, I think these two would scrap it out for a bit. Costa, I know he did get dropped and finished by Izzy, but I still don't think his chin is like awful. Like, his chin's not bad. I think he's taken some big shots. But yeah, a fight with Khalil, I think, would just be a banger. Just kind of like a fight where it's like, who cares? Who's Khalil going to fight next? Khalil needs some time. We need the light heavyweight picture to sort itself out. We're going to see Yuri versus Hill, probably. We're about to see Ozdemir versus Olberg. We're about to see Gushkov versus Walker. We're Krylov, Mirzakhanov as well. We're seeing we just had Ankalaev Rakic, like, light heavyweight, and we're going to get Smith Reyes too. Like, light heavyweight is actually sorting itself out. You know, I'm going to eventually do a series like matchmaking every weight class, and I'll just do one for each division so I can get content. But right now, there's not much to do for light heavyweight. It's already got all the fucking fights booked, you know. I've listed them already, but yeah. We had the title fight about a month ago. We've had Ankalaev Rakic, Olberg Hill, Olberg Ozdemir, Yuri Hill, Blachowicz is just chilling. And yeah, Smith Reyes and Gushkov Walker. Like, the division's doing well. So, I don't know. In the meantime, Khalil, just fucking, I don't know, fight Paulo Costa, I guess. It'd be a cool fight. Let's move on, though, to the final matchup to discuss. Last fight to discuss, I want to see Jan Blachowicz versus Sergey Pavlovich. Battle of the Itch is, I guess, you know, we always talk about battle of the OVs because none of them fight each other. Because, inshallah, brother, I not fight my friends. I not fight my countrymen. But Blachowicz versus Pavlovich, you know, that just fucking markets itself. I didn't even realize that when I was fucking putting it. Someone commented the other day, like, I swear bro just makes, this is what they said, I swear bro just makes up the video it is after he presses record. And he's not entirely wrong. Like, I kind of just like, what am I even doing? But yeah, Blachowicz versus Pavlovich, make this fight happen. Look, there is a good chance Jan just wrestles him, but I think Jan is a good enough striker that if it stayed on the feet, he wouldn't be completely cooked. Jan has a great chin, and Pavlovich has kind of looked mid recently on the feet. Blachowicz would definitely be a lot quicker, a lot more technical. If he gets him down, I think he could do some work. Obviously, Sergey's going to have a much bigger frame, going to be a lot stronger, but I still think this fight would be a banger. European Chads, you know, the Eastern Europe side of things are going well, you know. Western Europe, not so much. You know, France, Germany. You know, apart from BSD, we got Amavov and Cyril Gane, you know, as the French, and Morgan Charrier and Taylor Lapulus, like, you know, real French fighters. And then, you know, Germany. obviously some German representatives, Abbas Magomedov, Islam Dulatov, you know, real German representative. Anyway, we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, you know, Eastern Europe doing a lot better. They've actually got their own fighters in the sport, not just Dagestanis. But no, fair play to the Daggies, fair play to the Mountain Boys. They're doing well. But yeah, Blachowicz versus Pavlovich. This fight would just be sick. Fucking European fight night main event, bro. Hello. Pavlovich is going to be fighting fucking Rosenstrike. So maybe in the meantime, Jan could take another fight. And then, dude, go out on the retirement fight. Go up to fucking heavyweight and just have a scrap. I mean, maybe not retirement. If he wins, he could just ask for a fucking title shot, to be honest. But yeah, Europe, Poland, fucking Warsaw fight night. Blachowicz in the main event against Pavlovich. Mateusz Gamrot co-main. Mateusz Rebecki feature fight. Like, come on, we're cooking here. We got some stuff going. But anyway, that'll do it, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow my Instagram, Leftland MMA. I apologize if the audio is a bit cooked. And yeah, congrats to all the based Americans. Good job. I'm sure you're very happy that Donald Trump has won, so you actually can fucking live your lives normally. You know, no tampons in the men's bathrooms. Sorry. I don't want to get banned off YouTube again. But anyway, peace out, guys. See you in the next one. Goodbye.